telling you, girl, like, this is going to be part of your journey, right? However, I don't think this is going to be the destination. And I knew that about you day one. And when I look at my own story, I took a different approach where I went super into business. I've been in sales for 7 years. I turned down the opportunity of a $250,000 promotion. And I'm Canadian, and that promotion was in USD. So that's a lot of money, not including bonuses. But I went so far, I guess we'll call it right, into the business side of things, and I loved it. However, I started to genuinely just hate my life, truthfully. It started diminishing the relationship I had with my partner, which, mind you, has always been fantastic. It made me start to be a little bit more cynical, and it didn't matter how much money I had. I wasn't as like grateful, to be honest. I wasn't as giving as I normally would be, right? And I genuinely remember, and I remember talking to my partner and being like, I actually miss like working minimum wage, because I was so much happier. I had time with my family, even if I was working minimum wage for like 80 hours like a crazy person, because I've always been a workaholic. And it didn't dawn on me until I was like, okay, I'm leaving that part of my life behind. I have a lot of extrasensory gifts, and I was just following my intuition. And ever since I quit, that was last year in about October, I was able to manifest everything that I wanted in life, including my dream apartment with my partner, which, mind you, I could not get or find here in Toronto, Ontario, at the time when I was making like 5 figures a month. Like, how can I make 5 figures a month, right? Not find an apartment. No landlord wanted me. Okay. And let me tell you, like, I was like, what? Like, my track record, there was nothing wrong with it. They're like, nope, we don't trust entrepreneurs, basically.
Oh my gosh,
Swear
you're
to God,
kidding
like,
me.
even when I offered, like, I'll pay like 6 months up front, this, that, and the other, they were like, nope, we don't trust entrepreneurs. And I was like, okay. As soon as I quit my job, I'm unemployed, guys. Okay. I quit my job, and bam, we find not only our dream apartment that we never settled on, all the other places we settled on, like small things, right? This one, we never settled on anything. They were like, yeah, absolutely, not a problem. We're good to go. And I was like, okay, like, what a turn of events. And we've been like looking for a place for 6 months at that point. So it was quite interesting how things happen. But nonetheless, it's, I guess we need to bridge that gap, right? I feel when we work so much in the spiritual realm, I've done readings as well, and I've been super in my feminine and connecting with the universe and Akashic records and chakra balances and blockages and such like that. It's amazing. But when we're not having an equal exchange on the business side of things, when we feel like we have all this compassion and empathy and gifts that we are giving to people for free, and not having that equal give and take exchange, we're actually robbing ourselves, not only from our manifestations, but we're basically telling the universe, I'm okay. I have to be okay, because a lot of people don't feel appreciated when that happens. I have to be okay with utilizing my gifts for free, even though that's not intrinsically how I feel within ourselves. And I feel we need to bridge that gap, right? It's okay to be super spiritual, but you also have to feel your solar plexus on fire, that you can be that boss ass spirit led creator who can make the money that you deserve, right? By attracting the right people as well.
I love it. Gosh, it's so like resonant with everything that's going on in my orbit right now too, Isabella. Like you're speaking my language. Like I've uncovered so much recently just in my personal orbit as a spirit-led entrepreneur, someone who is, I'm taking daily action to, of a time and energy and money investment
Mm-hmm.
into a business that but I realized that, this thing that you helped me with, like so much, you helped me with it. You shifted my mindset that day that we hopped on that live whenever there was that tech issue. That was so divine timing for me, because it like from that moment, from that like point of our intersect, my whole world changed. Like I
Mhm.
remember that day like feeling lit the fuck up after I got off of the phone with you, and how it was like, man, like I just got this like incredible gift, and it was because of this snafu of a technology issue, and you shifted my mindset to realize that, you know, I, I can actually do what it is I want to be doing. I don't need to be in this like Facebook ads management bullshit. Like that's not what, it's not for me. It never was. There's a reason why none of it's like working out, you know?
Yeah.
And like you just shifted my whole trajectory. But you're continuing to do that with your immense business management skills that I'm like drawing from you every single day. Like we
Mhm.
in our we've been working together for a couple of months. You as my coach, and it's been incredible what it is that you've opened up for me. And I'm realizing that a lot of my money making issues, it doesn't have anything to do with my inability to do the thing that I've been doing for so many people. It's like this limiting belief sequence that I didn't even realize was playing out in my psyche, you
Mhm.
know? And it was having these immense effects on my day-to-day ability to manifest for myself. Like, is
Yeah,
this
of
something
course.
that
Because
you
how we do one thing is
encounter
how we
with?
do all things, right? Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm just wondering if I'm not the only one that's experiencing this. I know this is something you encounter with your other clients, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel at the end of the day, especially as spirit led creators, we teach people of the infinite, right? Of the universe, right? So I like reminding people, if we're teaching people that they can be infinite, why do we feel those inadequacies within ourselves sometimes? And that's a hard truth to swallow, especially when you work with energy, right? It's, I'm teaching other people XYZ to feel, connected with their soul and feel enlightened. And that is amazing work, and it doesn't discredit your work. But at the end of the day, you don't realize that some of those narratives of lack, you still embody yourself. And that is okay, because you can take your clients as far as you're willing to take yourself, right? And I feel, just for you as an example, Jenna, in the world of online coaching, it dramatically has, increased and provided so much opportunity within the last 3 years since COVID. And there's a lot of people who have this intrinsic feeling of lack and fear. So instead of listening to your gut and saying, I want to be a musician, I want to be a comedian, I want to help people heal, like grieve, right? Help them through their grieving process, and so on and so forth. Instead of listening to that intrinsic nagging voice inside ourselves, we started looking at all these ads that basically told us why we weren't good enough. And we were looking at all these ads of how to make money, how to make money in 90 days, how to make money in
Mm.
30 days. And I kind of help people come back to, yes, you can make money through those programs 9 times out of 10. But is that the right way for you to personally make money? And that's what a lot of people need to sit on, right? Is you can chase money, or you can attract it. And I normally, a lot of people talk about law of attraction, but I feel like truly embodying law of attraction, part of it is embodying what your soul is actually calling you to do on this earth, and not hiding from it. And I feel like as spirit led creators, as Jenna and I have talked about before, is sometimes we hide from the from our gifts, and we don't want to monetize them fully, right? And I know a lot of people, not to go down the rabbit hole, they have a lot of experiences during like the witch trials, and their soul still carries that onto right now, and that's a Akashic block, right? That some people face. And then you have, the Pleiadians, and then you have a lot of other historical things happening within the spiritual realm that is residual within this lifetime. However, at the end of the day, what I like to tell people is, if we were to look at the 3D now instead of the 5D, we are in a world with so much opportunity that there is no excuse for anyone to not be successful and
Mm,
really create their own reality by co-creating with the universe, right? By using your unique abilities and who you are right now to serve ideally what I like to call your soul clients, right? They could be the most like down the rabbit hole spiritual people ever, and I love those people, truthfully. I love going through rabbit holes. And let me tell you, I've actually worked with a spiritual healer for about a year now, and she only charged me hourly, and she would do 3 hour sessions for $150. And I'm like, girl, I love you. Like, she's updating my DNA, my codes, repairing things like Akashic, removing blockage, all these things in 3 hours. And I was just like, girl, like, why are you charging me 150? I would always tip her. I would always give her like 300, like doubling it, right? But I was even telling her, I was like, I would love to learn this. Like, let's figure out a pricing. And she's like, I would never charge you, $1,000 to learn everything that I know. I'm like, honey, I'm like, if I'm working with you for, 3 months, I want you to charge me like anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 because I'm going to be utilizing this information to basically, implement within my business. And it actually works better in my favor than me charging you through like $300 for only 3 hours of your time. I get you for, like 90 days or 6 weeks or whatever the case may be. It's still cheaper for me, right?
mm,
And she, again, just had this block. And I'm like, baby girl, like, you're good enough. And I even find it within the best healers, like that limiting belief. And I could talk about it for all day, like all day long. And it's really just allowing healers to know that anything in existence is attainable, right? We don't have to, I guess, yeah, we don't have to like say anything else. We know that anything that is in existence is attainable. So why don't you have that same love and embodying that for yourself?
mm-hmm. I encounter spirit-led creators and way showers and truly gifted people every single day. Many of them are in our group, Interconnected Collective, and they're giving it away not for $150 a session. They're giving it away for free. Like for
Mhm.
free. And this was me for a long time too. And I think that if I was going to just hop back into that timeline trajectory, right? That paradigm that I believe that many of these people are inhabiting, much like I was, it would be rooted in this belief system, not just, I mean, that I'm not enough. That is certainly one of many self-limiting beliefs, but it's also this notion that they want to heal the world and they don't want money to be the obstacle for people that do not have it. Like they
Mhm.
do not want that to be something that is keeping people from receiving the much needed services that they offer. But what I end up telling them, and it usually resonates, I'm like, yeah, so how many sessions are you doing a week? Okay. How do you feel at the end of the week? Do you feel like energized? Do you feel lit up? Do you feel like you are in alignment with, what it is that you need to be doing in terms of an energetic exchange? Or let me just, presuppose, because I've been there, do you feel drained beyond belief? Because, really exercising your extrasensory gifts and intuitive insights at the behest of helping another, it is, I mean, it can be draining. Like there's a lot of energetic exchange involved in that process. And we live in this world, the world of the 3D, where energetic exchange, it's a natural law that
Mhm.
we need to honor it. And if you don't honor yours, I tell them, if you don't honor that sequence of exchange that needs to be taking place between you and your clients, what's going to end up happening is you're going to basically diminish yourself and deplete your energy. And
Mhm.
then you'll be showing up in divine service to no one, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, is that really the legacy that you want to leave here whenever you're transitioning from this human avatar experience? Is that what, or would you rather be, gaining some compensation for your gifts, not feeling so drained, actually being appreciated for everything that you're doing for so many? And what that ends up doing for you is being able to broaden the scope for who it is and how many people you can show up in divine service for. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel in terms of you make a very good point when you said, I'm trying to remember because you said so much. I'm like soaking it all in right now. I'm like, yo, it was on fire. What were you saying in turn, like within like the last 30 seconds? Sorry.
So
I'm like,
it's okay. It's
all
okay.
that.
I could talk the hind leg off a mule. I know that about me. I know.
Fire
And
with
I
every
get into
second.
that. Yeah. Yeah. I get into the sequence of syncing because I do feel so passionate about this, as I know you do as well. Because we've been in conversation, in the DMs and on meetings frequently for quite some time, and I know we resonate on this fact. It's that really, if you're going to give all of your gifts away for free, because the mindset of these spirit led practitioners and
Yeah.
providers is that I'm going to help everyone for free, and because there's so many people that are financially hurting right now, I'm going to be able to help more people.
Yeah.
But in reality, that's actually incorrect, because they don't pre-posit the fact that you are going to diminish yourself when you're not adhering to the natural law of this 3D world experience, whether it's illusory or not. It is your reality that you must operate within this
Mhm.
landscape.
Yeah.
And if you diminish yourself, you're going to be showing up for no one. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be it. That's going to be all that actually happened to me when I was doing my own readings online. And it sent me into this stupor of like, I didn't have any energy for anyone, not even my own family,
Yeah.
because exercising your extrasensory gifts, it can be draining. It can
Yeah.
be, it can really, it can take it out of you. And if you're not being compensated for that so that you can then leverage a business, that, because it does need to be a business, if this is what you feel called to be doing every single day. And if it's going to be that, then you need to be able to support yourself, because
Mhm.
you are a human that has needs, right?
Yeah. If
And
you don't want to go back to the 9 to 5 and you want to be a spiritual entrepreneur, right? And you want to do good in the world, and you can't do that by spending 8 hours a day, doing, I guess, for a lack of a better term, your day job that most people don't genuinely like to do, right? You're going to have to be comfortable with like being in an abundance energy, right? And vibrational frequency. And I feel every therapist, it's always joked, every therapist has a therapist, right? Just like every healer has a healer, you know what I
yes,
mean? And I
yes.
feel if you look at your healer and how much you charge your healer or your psychics or your amazing spiritual family, right? Or mentors, if you look at how much you charge them, why wouldn't you want to see, if I charge them that much and they're able to provide this for me, and I know that I'm of value and I could provide so much, how can I make the same money, or if not more, because the world is infinite, like my mentors? How do I get started? Why not maybe sometimes leveraging your mentors and asking them, hey, how did you get started? I'm struggling with
Mm,
this. Because I feel a lot of the times, like in the spiritual community, we can all resonate with that. Everyone, either hides their gifts, diminishes their gifts, gives their gifts away for free. And I think the best place to start is by being in a community just like Jenna's and asking people, how are you starting? How are you monetizing your gifts? And then taking what resonates with you and leaving and applying everything that does, right? And I
absolutely.
also feel, the more people give away for free, on absolutely everything, the more that you're telling the universe that you don't need money, you don't want money, even though you feel in yourself and in the 3D realm, unfortunately, we do need money, right? And the way that we need to think of money isn't the end all be all. Money is just the exchange, right? We want to be, and money is completely different. Like manifesting money is completely different than manifesting abundance, because you can have an abundance of everything, right? You can have an abundance of love, an abundance of money, an abundance of joy, right? And I want, if
Mm.
anyone were to get anything from this live with me, I just want people to be able to know that stepping in and embodying the vibrational frequency of abundance means that you have the best relationship with uncertainty. You have no idea what you need to do, how you need to do it, and what's going to come your way. But at the end of the day, you're going to be okay because you are putting yourself out there, right? I think more so on the business side of things, bridging that gap and having that duality, right? Having and embodying that abundance vibrational frequency can also be matched and leveraged and maximized with the 3D realm in terms of business. And you can always give away value, right? You want to give away the what. You want to think about who you serve and what they need. What do you want your audience to feel? What type of information is going to help them make a decision? What type of information is going to help them within their lives, right? And then you can sell the how. You can sell the accountability, right? And that's what I've found within the spirit niche, where they didn't feel as much as a fraud. You know what I mean? It's, hey, here's all the information. And I do this within my business too. Here's all the information that you need in order to make your life amazing. But we all know in the business realm, a lot of people, like, their information isn't about accessing knowledge. Their biggest hindrance isn't accessing knowledge. The biggest hindrance is accountability. It's, sometimes
Mm.
the how. It's sometimes just having a mentor to be like, hey, you got here. That's what I want to do too. And that's what you sell. I feel people who pigeonhole information and sell, here's the way that I did this in terms of information, right? I think, like, what the heck? Like, people have YouTube, people have other like ways of communicating, right? I feel there needs to be more within a service that I feel a lot of spirit led creators provide, right?
Mm.
Because you guys are so in tune, including myself, in terms of reading energy, providing clarity, and all the things that people are unable to do with themselves, no matter how many videos you post about it. It's, hey, if
Mm.
you want to do it yourself, awesome, here's all my free content. You develop know, like, and trust. However, if you're also overextending yourself and doing the how, doing free readings, doing free, like business kind of talks, right? Of how you monetize your stuff and giving free accountability away. There are people that I know that spirit led creators that constantly talk and coach some people within their orbit without getting paid for it, right? So, of course, how are you supposed to show up 100% even within your free paid content, like your free
Mm.
content, right? Because you're getting drained. And it's not to say that these people are energy vampires. It's not to say that, people within your orbit are bad people. No, it's just you want to step into an authority position. You want to step into your ultimate power. Unfortunately, another, like, a hard truth is, if you are not charging for your services in any type of capacity, it could even be, I know Jenna knows someone who does donation style. Like readings and such like that, in any type of capacity, if you're not stepping in the vibrational frequency of abundance and you naturally have that lack within yourself, unfortunately, it's going to be harder. It's like you're walking upriver instead of with the flow, right? It's
Mm.
like the universe is telling you you're valuable enough. You do deserve to get charged for your services, but you keep on walking upriver, baby girl, baby
Mm.
boy. You keep on walking upriver, where it's just like there's going to be a point where the river is just going to take you, and that's where you're meant to be. You're supposed to flow with the river. kind of thing. I could talk about this like Isabella's TEDx talk. Okay.
No, you're on fire now. Like, woo! I'm loving it. Like you just chatting you, Isabella, it gives me like multiple downloads, like through like just listening to you talk. And that's been the case since the very beginning for me. I honestly, it's like when you were talking about going upstream versus going with the flow, it really conjured for me that notion of the spirit led provider that I was telling you about, the gentleman. He does healings, and he does these, it's all donation based. Now he acknowledges that everyone can't necessarily do that, and I think that's leading us into
Hmm.
that in this virtual landscape of, having a business online and being able to leverage that and market yourself, like, and not needing an entire firm like you might have needed in the past,
Hmm.
like prior, like pre-internet times. I mean, it's like you said, it's an amazing opportunity that it's really only been made available to us for like the last couple of decades. Like we were
Yeah.
born here in this generation, in this now moment. We chose to come to earth at this time, like to actually segue with this opportunity. And what this gentleman would tell me is like, I don't need to do this for money. I realize that many people do. But what's important to understand is that your business and the way that you set it up needs to bear your signature with respect to your own human avatar 3D life. It's going to differ from every other person who owns their online business. Like it's going to
Yeah.
differ in the way that structure it, in the way in which you nurture it, and what it is that you charge, and what it is that the free content that you put out there. I've known coaches that say, I give all my best stuff away for free, but what I charge for is my time. You
Hmm.
my time that I give you, because that's something I don't get back. And so that is the way in which I'm compensated for my services. But I'll give you everything that I know for free in a YouTube channel or in a Facebook group or on my Instagram feed, where I'm going live every day. And as long as you're tuning in, like you're going to receive so much value from me for free. But in terms of like actually like hiring me personally and working with me personally, which is a powerful it's a powerful experience to do that with someone who has figured out things and has synced with a way that resonates with you. It does have that potential to skyrocket you into that next level that you're meant for, you know
Exactly, because it's very personalized, right? No one
right.
can ever compete with one-on-one coaching. I know there's a lot of high-ticket programs out there that scale through group coaching and cohort, right? Which is kind of classroom style. And it's amazing. You can definitely receive a lot of transformation, but not as much as you're going to ever get with one-on-one, period. It's just because it's very like that hour is just between you and the coach, right? It's not split into any other direction. So yeah, I completely agree with that for sure.
I
I've
I
just
love coaching. Like I love the entire industry, and I know that you and I kind of like share this intrigue for it. You've had a lot more experience in the coaching realm. Whereas I've had most of my experience in supporting the spirit led sub niches, like, the psychics and the energetic artists and the shamans, and, like all of these different hashtags. Like this is how I have mostly shown up in divine service, like in my experience here in the online space. But it's almost like we have like merged these two like differing trajectories. Your experience in like with remind me where it is that you got your background. You were coaching, coaching how many people per month and like working 15-hour days, like with an
Yeah.
agency? Is that right?
Yeah, so I was coaching about 600 people
Oh
a
my
month.
gosh.
Yeah, all the way up to, I think at one point we were almost at like 1,000. Just me. I did have like a team of two other coaches, but
Wow.
you know, everyone by the time that the new coaches came on board, they had their own clients, right? And they were great to help me out, but of course, you know, when you're walking with someone for 6 months, right, for an example, I'm going to help them out the best kind of because I have more information than the other coaches did, right? Um, but I feel like even people who are starting out from scratch who don't have resources to invest within like certain skills, I think we overcomplicate the coaching industry or just business in general. I feel at the end of the day, all you need is an offer. What do you specifically do for people, right? Or do you have a couple of offers? Which one out of those couple of offers are, you know, the best ones that you want to give to people that people are asking for, right? Just a marketable offer. The second thing is just figuring out how are people going to find you? Do you want to advertise yourself in a Facebook group like Jenna does? Do you want to advertise yourself on YouTube, Instagram? How are people going to find your beautiful self? And then the last thing is just a simplified sales process. Are you going to send them a Zoom link? Are you going to, you know, use the free Instagram feature, right? Because I think Instagram actually is only the only social media platform to close clients, right? And it's very, I think people overcomplicate being a coach or just being a business owner. And for me, when I started out, I had $0. And this like ties me back to what you asked me, Jenna, was I like before I even became a coach, I like it was in the like beginning, like before COVID, I was working 80 hours a week at a fitness studio, and my days like 5 minutes made a difference. I was working like crazy, like full-time school, full-time work, part-time work plus overtime. And
Mm.
honestly, that was actually probably the best era like for like 20-year-old Isabella like at that time. Fast forward, you know, COVID happened and I had to work smarter, not harder. And I remember I had no money, obviously, because I worked at a fitness studio. Gyms were down, and I invested my last dollar, $13,000 Canadian. Okay,
Mm.
the hard earned money that I worked 80 hours a week. Okay, and let me tell you, I barely took a shower once once every 5 days. Okay, not proud of it, but hey, it's important to the
Bless
story.
your
Like,
heart. Like no time for self-care, no
oh,
time for
definitely, yeah.
Isabella, all of your time, all of your energy, all of everything for everyone else.
Yeah, no, like I remember like commuting to the city for 2 hours to go to school, my
Mm.
part-time work, right? Come back, work my full-time job from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m., commute back to the city. Like I did not have time to eat. I probably ate one meal a day. And yeah, like I just was always on the go. The only thing I didn't compromise was my 8 hours of sleep. That was the one thing I didn't compromise. Like that, I was just like, no one talked to me. I went to bed at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. like at night, and I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning to drive, you know, to work and such like that. But anywho, so you know, I dedicated time and I refused to buy like sometimes shampoo and conditioner. Like, don't get me wrong, I washed myself, okay? Like, I'm not gonna be that grimy, but like, I saved my money. I was penny pinching. So when COVID happened and I was manifesting an opportunity to make money online, and I saw something that just clicked, I was able to use my sales experience and apply it to the online niche. And I invested every single last dollar, $13,000 into this program. And not because, and I want to make this clear, when I invested that money, because this is going to help people, I did it because I knew that I would do anything and everything to make this work because it was in alignment with me, versus expecting the other person to do the work for me. Right? Because I knew that it wasn't a matter of if I'm going to be successful, it's only a matter of when. And if I have to do, and if I do everything that I need to do, again, it's only a matter of when I'm going to be successful. How many tweaks do I need to make? Is it going to be 2 years of tweaking, or is it going to be one? And I feel there's so many resources out there, and a lot of spirit led creators can attest to this with their own clients, right? It's like sometimes you tell people what to do, they're not going to do it. It's like going to the doctors, especially with people with type 2 diabetes, like my dad. Love you, dad. But, you tell them don't eat sugar, and guess what? Their sugar's high. They're like, okay, I have to do a home remedy of like oil and cinnamon or something like that to bring it down. But the issue isn't telling people what to do, it's getting them to actually do it themselves, right? And if
Mm.
you have the mindset of I have the talents, my energy is a luxury to be around, and fire up that solar plexus, right? Who are you? Right? What are your I am statements? And then actually acting on that. What do I need to do? Who do I need to be? Based on my future self, what I want to be in this lifetime, what I want to provide to others. What do I need to do to get to that influence, to genuinely help even upgrade the collective? What do I need to do using the tools that I have in this lifetime? And the more that we're consistent about that, and the more that we're able to use, as you say, Jenna, a revolving door around dipping into the spiritual realm to see what's in alignment with me, what do I need to course correct, what do I need to provide to people, to then going into the 3D realm, the more masculine realm. How can I actually ground these alignments, these manifestations, these techniques, right, into reality, so that I can do my alignment, right? I could do my thing. I can get to that 5D version of myself within the 3D realm, kind of thing. And I think utilizing this duality of both the masculine and feminine, and finding your own sweet spot and balance to it, simultaneously or individualistically, right? Like the revolving door explanation is going to be how you can find fulfillment within your life. The way that I do my business is not going to be the way that Jenna does her business, and is not going to be the way that other businesses do their business. And that's actually the beauty within business, is
Mm.
what's in alignment to me. I'm not going to charge people crazy amounts of money for my knowledge. I refuse to do that. Like, period. I may give away free sessions when I have the time, and it's actually a coaching session and it's not a sales call. I don't believe in sales calls. I believe
Mm.
in, hey, can I help you? Where are you at right now? And let's see if I can help you on this call. Not sign into my program so I can help you further. No, how can I provide you value right now with who you are right now? And that's the way I do business. Is that the way other
Mhm.
people do business? No. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of it. Who are you uniquely? Are you someone who has a strong, like, you like spending your time editing, you love spending your time creating? If not, how can you outsource that so you can do what you
Mm.
love? What are all the activities that you absolutely love to do and provide to people? Also make a list of all the things that you do not like to do. Can you outsource those things so you can focus on what you can do? There's so many different ways to do business, and there's so many different ways to be in balance and be in alignment. You just need to know and admit to yourself and be honest with yourself. Where do you see yourself? Where's that 2.0 version of yourself, and how to get there?
I love it. I what Isabella's what she's referring to is a conversation we had earlier about the gentleman who he does the healing sessions over Zoom with
Yeah.
donation base, and he had explained to me, I've worked with him for many years and I absolutely love him. I actually hope to get him in the Interconnected Collective one Sunday a month to do a free healing for the group. But he's amazing. But he's a businessman, retired businessman, owned, during his time in, the 3D world of making money. He owned multiple, like a chain of organic grocery stores, and this the stress that this brought on in his life was actually what led him to the emotion codes to help him heal his body. He was experiencing terrible back pain that um, no one in like chiropractors or doctors could help him with, and he was looking for a way to get relief from the pain, but it actually opened up a door for him to realize that the pain was coming from an energetic, his energy body was being affected, which was trickling down into the 3D physical realm of his physical
Mhm.
body hurting, which, and that kind of opened up for him an entire exploration of his own extrasensory gifts by which he's incredibly talented at. But what he explained to me in being a businessman and understanding that world, but also being a spiritual healer and understanding, very much this world, he gave me this metaphor of the revolving door. And he was explaining to me that you can't occupy the spiritual realm and the 3D realm simultaneously. You can't have a foot in both worlds
Mhm.
because they, like as Isabella said, they're very different energies. You do need to embody them, you need to embrace them, but you need to kind of do it in a pivot over here and then go through the revolving door and then pivot over here. You need to set up your business intentionally with structure in the 3D with the divine masculine energies, and you need to take intentional measures to set it up as Isabella so beautifully put it. I loved how you went into that deeper wisdom about how you need to take inquiry of your life, of your
Mhm.
actual life, and know what's important to you, and know what it is that you want to allocate your time towards, what your goals are, what it is that you mean to actually do with this business, the value that you're adding to people's lives, but also the value you're adding to your life. All of this needs to be documented and very, very clearly understood by you, the CEO, business owner, soulpreneur of that you are, you're creating something in this world. But so you have to do all of this, business oriented stuff, and you do need to make money if you are going to continue on this trajectory of being sustainable. But then you go through the revolving door, and you can't forget, you have to reorient yourself with
Mhm.
your spirit led expression and what it is that you aim to do for others in this remarkable way that only you can, and
Mhm.
that's really why I fell in love with the coaching industry. And I fell in love with it because of the individuality that it really promotes with every given individual who aims to become themselves a coach. And we were talking about this earlier, the difference between a niche and a brand. And
Mhm.
I want, I mean, I initiated the conversation, but I want Isabella, I want to hear it from you, like the difference between these two terms, and then I'll expound on that. And before we end, I'd love to hop into the chat. It looks like we have like 18 minutes left of Thrive Time. So like I want to see who's tuning in. I saw that there were some incredible people in there. I want to shout out to them and give them some love for joining us live.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait. I love co-creating with people. So anyone who's here, who's been watching this long, love you. Shout out to you. Yeah, so I feel at the end of the day, like a difference between a niche and a brand. A niche is basically what you do and who you serve, right? And what type of characteristics and interests that your ideal audience likes, right? And then a brand is more so, I guess, what also Jenna said is like a flavor, how you present yourself and how memorable you are. What is your brand? And these aren't exact definitions. This is the way that I personally like to simplify it. However, I don't believe in oversaturation, right? A lot of people get so scared. Oh, there's so many health coaches out there. There's so many spiritual coaches out there. There's so many business coaches out there, and having that mentality of, oh, there's so much saturation in the market. You need to actually think to yourself, if you're aligning with this niche, right, your brand and your flavor is going to be completely different to other people, right? Look at
Hmm.
Jenna for an example. You or anyone who's listening could probably relate to her, in the sense being where her flavor is similar to yours, but maybe not 100%,
Hmm.
right? My brand, I work with I work with spiritual led creators, but I'm more masculine. I'm more business oriented, right? And I utilize both that masculine and feminine energy. But I am not going to be one to go full into the higher realms all the time, right? I use both, right? So sometimes my flavor is a little too masculine, it's a little too blunt for people, right? And that's okay because that's just not my soul, tribe clients, right? And that's
Mm,
okay because someone can have the same skills as me and create the same transformation, but they have a different flavor, right? And they're
mm.
able to capitalize because they are their branding. What they provide is completely different than what I provide in terms of delivery. And that's why if anyone has the fear of this overcompensation mentality within the market, there is no such thing. And it's just a feeling of lack within yourself. And truthfully, unfortunately, just to be like the bearer of blunt news, is probably an excuse that you're telling yourself to not take action, right? You can't come up with definitives if you haven't tried something. And therefore, learn how to love to fail so that you can create your niche and you can create your brand. And then, as we were talking about the revolving door, course correcting. Is this in alignment with me? Awesome. Let me do it. What do I need to do in order to ground it into reality? Okay, cool. Is this still in alignment with me? Yes, cool. Okay, when it stopped being in alignment with you, then you course correct within your business. What do I need to do in order for this to now feel in alignment with me? And that's basically what I wanted to say about the branding and the niching, because I think a lot of people overcomplicate it and it's really not that complicated.
It's a self-limiting belief. It's just another one, right? The
Yeah.
belief that, oh, there's already this many mindset coaches out there, like what's one more? Like why should I even like go into that? I've seen so many ads like that, like, oh, what, you want to be a coach? This is a saturated market. And it's like, you know what? It honestly, the reason why coaching is taking the world by storm, you guys, like this is my own perspective, all right? Like there is someone out there for everyone, like,
Hmm.
and there, you yourself, if you feel called to coaching, like you are like this infinite universe that's contained in this finite human body, which can be confusing and crazy and really overwhelming at times. But as soon as you intentionally anchor yourself into each one of these facets, all of a sudden you realize there's nobody in the world that's quite like you. There's nobody that even comes close. And there's
Hmm.
going to be like millions out there that really resonate with you personally, whereas like, whatever it is, the niche that you are serving, like there's a million other coaches that are serving that niche, but these people that resonate with uniquely you, like it's not going to land. These others aren't going to land with them in the way that your energy and your vibe, i.e. branding, does, right?
Hmm.
It's going to
Exactly.
be it's an inspiring profession to people that they don't feel solid within their own individuality yet, and within their own human avatar expression of their own gifts in this
Hmm.
world. And that's your job as a coach, to ignite that and to bring your service to them, and in fulfillment of what it is their visions are for their own life. I mean, what could be more transformative? And that's why it's taking the world by storm. That's why it's so powerful. And that's why I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that get into this business because they think that they're going to make a whole bunch of money, but
Hmm.
honestly, they fall by the wayside pretty quick. If your heart isn't in this, if it's not aligned with this work, like obviously this isn't the profession for you, right? That's
Yeah.
it's honestly, it's got to be heart centered. And as Isabella has pointed out, a focus on fulfillment. That's one of the key aspects of her branding, her vibe, that I jive with it so much. Like
Hmm.
hopping on a call with you, like you're so intentional and you keep me like so focused in, you bring together all of my my insights and my inspirations and my creative ideas, and you harness them and you hold me accountable to them. And
Mhm.
that's like the mark of a true coach that's going to, reach out to you prior to the meeting and say, hey, this is like, we need to make an agenda. What is it that we need to cover? Because, like we need to get
Yeah.
organized, right? And
Yeah.
I just love it. I love working with you. I love the vibe that you bring to the room. It is transformative for people like me that do occupy more of that divine feminine aspect that can get a little bit like, like crazy and overwhelming at times because you're not harnessing it into this in this intentional way to bring it into the 3D world.
I would definitely say two things that I wanted to touch up on that you brought up is the first thing is when you are coaching someone with a lot of feminine energy, for anyone out there that this would be relevant for, you want to focus on all the ingredients, right?
Mm,
You basically want to focus on the cookie. The cookie is your focus, right? However, sometimes you need to focus sometimes on the milk, sometimes on the butter. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want
yes.
to focus on the butter, how the butter was made, and all the way down there, okay? For the whole call, because then after you lose sight in the value of looking at that cookie or reforming the cookie, right? Maybe instead of white sugar, we use brown sugar, right? But we don't want to get too lost in the sauce and really preparing for your calls, even if you're doing a reading for someone. If you need to meditate 20 minutes beforehand to really connect with their energy, do you need their birth date? Do you need their first and last name? Do you
Mm,
need a photo of them? Prepare a little bit more so you come into their confident. Do you need to detach yourself from the human, the ego?
mm,
That's something that I need to do. And I separate the pray, like, and I do a prayer for that, right? And then the second thing that I want to say is, when you're a coach, a lot of people in propaganda and ads and Instagram shows you can make like six figures a year. And that's really true. You could honestly, I've worked with people who make eight figures a month, right? However, if you are someone who's just starting out and you're looking at, if this was a video game, level 200, and you're at level one right now, level 200's looking nice, but you at level one right now, and that's okay. Focus on level two. If you have to be grateful that right now maybe you're making $30,000 a year, maybe you're making 60, 80 right now, but you want something that is more fulfilling. Focus on the small wins. Oh my gosh, I got one client, or oh my gosh, I got one person who listened to my podcast, one new subscriber, one new follower, one like, one comment. Focus on the small wins. And as long as you're consistent over time, you're going to reach level 10 before you even know it. You're going to feel still level 2, but you're at level 10, right? And then eventually getting to that level 200 isn't, it's, you want to think as level 200 as the byproduct of your fulfillment. If you're spending 75% of your time in work, you gotta love it. And that's why I will never tell anyone to join rich quick schemes or
mm,
programs that are out of alignment with who they are. If you are someone who's a born natural spiritual leader who wants to be that, I am not going to tell you how to, do investments. Is it going to make you money? Absolutely. But would it make you more money than if you were to do what's actually inherently in alignment with you? I will confidently say no. Why? Because you're only going to put 20% energy into it instead of 100. So
mm.
those are my last three quick little. I could talk about this all day, but yeah, I just wanted to definitely say those three little tips before
I
we.
love your passion, Isabella. It lights me up every day working with you. It's a gift. It truly is a gift. I couldn't imagine where I would be without your expertise, to be honest. Are you ready to hop in? I wanted to look and see
Yes,
who is
let's
joining
hop
us.
in.
We're getting so many awesome comments in here. We got to give some love. We got 5 people in the room, and yes, we Christy Mann says, thank you, Isabella. What a great talk. And she says that she don't get too lost in the sauce. I love it.
Yes,
And
yes.
I love that too. I also love your cookie metaphor. That really broke it down for me. And I kind of wanted to extend that metaphor with
Hmm.
this different coach that I'm also working with. I'm working with a lot of coaches, y'all. Uh, I love it. I mean, and honestly, all of the best coaches, they have their own coaches. Just like you said, like
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
an important way to extract your own magic. And we're all these mirror expressions of one another. And whenever we resonate with someone, we're resonating with an aspect of ourselves. That's
Hmm.
what's happening, and that's why we're syncing, and what they're saying to you is landing. It's because that aspect is already present with you. But whenever you're resonating with them because of that similar aspect, there are other aspects that they can bring to the table, bring new ingredients into your recipe, right? I
Mix it
and
all up.
yes, and that's what I was telling this other coach though. I was like, you know what? I feel like I got all of these right ingredients, but something I'm mixing them together wrong. Like there is something happening here that I'm like, I'm throwing that, like, how like some ingredients you got to put like this in before that,
Yeah,
or
like
you got
the
to mix the
dry
dry ones
mixing
and then the
bowl and then the wet
yeah,
mixing
like
bowl. Yeah.
there's something that's happening here, that it's like my yeast isn't rising or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I loved that metaphor that you gave, because it really does break it down into components of what it is that it's not something that is wrong with you. It might just be a key component that you're missing from that recipe. And
Hmm.
once you add it to that recipe, the entire baked good that comes out of the oven is going to change, and then you're going to be able to taste it and say, that's so much better, but next time I'm going to add this you
Hmm.
know and it just keeps going and going until you are like this expert chef connoisseur that is like blowing people's minds with your culinary delights. that's
Exactly.
that's where it goes. And we have Maureen in the room too. I remember Maureen, she was saying that she's also very divine feminine, just like myself. I loved working with Maureen whenever we were working together. I hope we get the chance to again, lovely. It's she is a powerful light language activator that she ignited me a few months back whenever I first started my business, and we were working closely. And Christy, man, and Tay, oh Tay, I'm so happy that you're in our community now. Tay recently joined, thanks to Elizabeth Knittel, who was in the room also.
Shout
I
out.
know that I'm in an inner circle with them that's super powerful. We have some really powerful people in the room with us right now. It's just so exciting. It lights me up to connect with orbits of I mean, not just like-mindedness, but like differing frequencies. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm a generator in human design, and like I know that people have likened me to like being like a female Tony Robbins. Like I know
Yes.
whenever he walks into the room, didn't you go to one of his big events, Isabella? Is that
Yes.
something that you got the experience of?
Yeah, I did go to one of Tony Robbins' events. It was one of his paid online events. And it
Okay.
was just as energetic as I'm assuming like his in person ones were, because let me tell you, I was out of my chair the whole time. But it didn't hit the mark. I would say that
Right.
for me personally, and like who I am, you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
felt it was a little interesting. I'll leave it at that.
No, I get it. I've heard the same exact thing. I
Yeah.
think I'm what I'm referring to is his energy level. I feel
Is no
like the
other. I can't
heightened.
believe the guy's 70 and he
I
like
know,
moves the
right?
way that
Like
he does. Yeah.
his energy level is increased by the energy of other people in the room. I believe that's why he
Yeah,
does
he
those
feeds
big,
off of
like,
it and he's just
stadium
like, let's do it.
style. Yeah, it like generates him, like it lights him up. And I've noticed the same thing happening with me. I bet he's a generator too. I'm
Oh,
gonna
100%. I would put money on it.
I'm curious. I wonder if Tay, she's in the room. She's a human design expert. I bet she knows. If she's still in there, I hope that she can answer to that. If she knows about the generator energy, she said that I have magnetic and uplifting generator energy. Thank you, Tay. I've only recently come across human design, but it's like really rocking my world, and I've really enjoyed hopping into that paradigm. I know that there's a lot of paradigms though. I've been a chronic paradigm hopper, so to
Yeah.
speak. Like
Why
at
choose one when you can choose multiple?
right, right. I mean, maybe one at a time, but then it's
Mhm.
like it's time to move on and you gain that experience and that wisdom and you take it along with you to every new paradigm that you hop to. And that's been my experience with, the spirit led work and the coaching industry. I really feel like these two umbrella niches, and I know that there are coaches that occupy the spiritual niches, and there's other there's spiritual people that kind of venture into the coaching. But I feel like these two paradigms or schools of thought can really help each other in a multitude of ways, and
If
I'd love
not
to
need each
end on
other.
that. If we were talking about this earlier, and how one is lacking in certain ways, and then the others are lacking in these other ways, and this is
Mhm.
why we're building that interconnected collective, so that everyone can energize and generate that expertise and wisdom for each other.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I believe that the spiritual industry needs the business industry, and the business industry needs the spiritual industry, period. I know a lot of people in the business realm who make a lot of money and are absolutely miserable, genuinely. And it
Hmm.
breaks my heart. And it's because they're not listening to their gut, they're not listening to their alignment, right? And sometimes they don't even care about the money that they make. They just don't have the energy to listen to their spiritual body, right? Because they're so fatigued within their mental body, right? And same within the spiritual energy, like in the spiritual energy, not energy, industry. There you go. They're not listening to the physical body in terms of the root chakra, what needs that they want to manifest and ground within this lifetime, right? So they need each other, but maybe not necessarily simultaneously, like at the exact same time, but like that revolving door.
I love it. Man, this has energized me so much. I know I'm going to be feeling this verve for the rest of the day.
Next time
Like
I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna play some music. Oh, boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna go have my dance party. That's my exercise now. That's another paradigm I hopped from. I used to do like chronic CrossFit 6 days a week until, yeah, like my body, it was breaking down in so many ways. I just couldn't do it anymore. But yeah, like as soon as I get lit up by people like you, Isabella, amazing coaches. I mean, you're a way shower like no other, my dear. And just connecting with you today, and for the last, I don't know how long we've known each other. Has it been like a year or
A
maybe a
year
little
or
more?
two. Yeah, maybe
Mm-hmm.
a year or two.
It,
Yeah.
it's just rocked my world. And yeah, you light me up, and I'm just so happy that we've been able to experience like the intersection of our orbits, so that we can mutually benefit from what each other can offer, and just the value that you've added me, like you've added to me as my coach and my business, something I was like completely new to, like, because I've supported people in their businesses, but having your own is an entirely different animal.
Yes,
And
it is.
just venturing into the unknown space like that, it can be overwhelming, it can be scary. And it's like something that you can bring to other people's orbit you start uncovering these self-limiting beliefs, like we've talked about this entire lives so much. Like
Mhm.
you start uncovering them when you create your own business, because there is this element of self-love and self-inquiry that needs to be explored and expressed, and you have to dive deep and you have to do it fearlessly, or else it's not going to manifest. And I mean, Isabella is she is a master at helping you to really segue into this with grace, and using those energies of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, of which she is so in touch and so in tune with. I'm just I'm so inspired by you and your work, and I'm going to go ahead
Yeah,
and
you're
leave.
like love bombing me. I'm like, Jenna, I'm like,
I love you,
Jenna, you're
Isabella.
always such a luxury to be around. Your energy is just always contagious. And everyone, if you have like the luxury to even just speak to Jenna, you're going to be able to get so much value. And I've told Jenna multiple times that, there's no, just because I have more experience in the coaching industry than she does, doesn't mean that, my expertise is above hers. I look at her as an equal, right? Because what she provides to me is just as valuable. And I really want you to embody that, because you really do have your own magic and imprint on this world, and the world's in need of it, including myself.
Mm. Goodness, the love in the room right now. Gosh.
Receive.
You guys need to subscribe to Isabella's YouTube channel. She is providing a lot of value over there, a lot of free value that, she feels called to this work every single day. This is what she is committed, like her life force is pooling into this YouTube channel, and she's putting so much intentional work into it every single day. I know, because I'm like bombing her in the DMs, like, and she's probably like, Jenna, gosh, I'm kind of trying to work here, but no, she's,
Yeah, every
we're,
time you message me, Jenna, I'm like, I get distracted. I'm like, okay, I gotta message Jenna back. Message Jenna back. Yeah, if anyone wants to follow my YouTube channel, if it aligns with you, I drop some like hard bombs. I actually have, I'm opening up time on my calendar that I didn't tell Jenna about. Anyone who wants genuinely a free coaching session, who has a specific problem, let me know, and I'll give you a free like coaching session 1 hour. Just let me know that you listen to the Thrive Time, just so that I can let Jenna know
mm,
for her own, business endeavors, right? But yeah, anyone who wants help, let me know. It's not a sales call. I refuse to do those. And yeah, let's see if like I could genuinely help you achieve that next step, that next level as to where you are right now.
wow, I can't believe that. You
I don't
guys,
know, you
you see
inspired
it.
me. This talk like was just like I was just like, you know what? I'm working so much on my YouTube channel, but I kind of miss connecting with people. I have obviously clients and such like that, but I'm like I haven't had, like the opportunity to just, be like, let's jump on a call, let's kiki.
You have a gift for it. So I'm like super super excited for everyone who's tuning in to this right now, because having a free session with you, it's going to change their life. And I really really implore you, if you have synced with Isabella's energy today, if you resonate with the messages that she is dropping like truth bombs for us all right now, like totally take her up on this offer. It will change your life. It will change your spirit led business for the better forever. So thank you so much, Isabella. This was so fun. I'm
Anytime.
excited. All
Yeah.
right, so I'm gonna drop Isabella's link to her YouTube channel in the comment section, and don't forget to mention Thrive Time. Do you want me to drop a different link for them to reach out to you, or just shoot you a DM in Insta or Facebook?
Yeah, just shoot me a DM on Insta or Facebook. And then I'll definitely provide like a calendar link and see, what I can do to help you within that like one session. If you
Mm.
guys have any questions whatsoever, even utilize the Facebook group, tag me, I'll help you guys out. I have no issue with that. Send you a video. I don't like texting. So you'll probably, anyone who works with me gets voice notes, okay?
Yay!
So yeah. All
Oh,
right.
I
Well,
love
love you
Isabella's
guys.
voice notes. So powerful, so aligned. I am very, very grateful for you joining me for Thrive Time today. It was
Anytime.
exhilarating, fun, amazing. I love you, Isabella.
Love
We're
you
going to
too,
go ahead
Jenny.
and end now. And everyone who is going to reach out to Isabella, don't forget to mention Thrive Time. And you can reach out to her here in the Interconnected Collective.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Mwah.